This is a photo of HMS Maori in front of Fort St Angelo, as she was before sinking. Here's a picture of John going out to the wreck. Maori was a tribal class destroyer built in the UK and launched in 1937. She had what is commonly known as a good war, and during the early hours of the 12th of February 1942 she was moored in Grand Harbour Valletta when a parachute flare dropped by enemy aircraft became trapped in a foremast. Soon after that she received a direct hit by a bomb and caught fire. She was abandoned, and shortly afterwards the aft magazine exploded and the destroyer sank. Here's a picture of the forward gun mounting. After the war, the wreck was cut in two. The forepart was refloated and towed to its present location in St Elmo Bay, and the aft section was sunk in deep water offshore. Here's our other buddy Lyvia appearing on the foredeck, or what remains of it. This dive is normally done when the weather is bad and the rest of the island is blown out, so to speak. So the visibility is not all that good. One of these days I must do the dive when the visibility is good on the rest of the island, and maybe then I'll get it to myself. Now as we progress down the starboard side, before we do that, you can see here that John is just sussing out how much the brass would be worth from the gun mounting. He is Scottish after all. Now as we progress down the starboard side, you'll see the remains of a couple of shells with the fuses removed in the side of the vessel. There were quite a number of these at one time, but they've gradually been dug out and removed by souvenir hunters. And in this one in particular, the the hull there was occupied by a small octopus last time we visited, and Lyvia took quite a good photo of it. Now as we move along the starboard side, you can see the portholes. Bearing in mind this is only the front half of the wreck. And we cross over to a spar and follow that out beyond the wreck. Here we are, following the spar out. Occasionally there are seahorses, but if there were on this occasion I certainly didn't see them. And there's a shoal of Salima out at the end of the spar. These are quite common on the wreck of the Maori. No, there is no Maria conger inside the end of the spar. As you can see, there are various bits of wreckage scattered around the seabed to the rear of the wreck. And now we're progressing inside the wreck. Now just how much longer it will be safe to do so I'm not sure, because it's certainly deteriorating quite quickly. And those portholes we saw from the outside we are now seeing from the inside. The visibility is actually a little bit better inside the wreck than out. It's often a favourite habitat for large grouper, but I didn't spot any on this occasion. It really is quite eerie inside. And you can see from the state of the supports, or what's left of them, that, as I say, it may not be too long before it collapses altogether. But hopefully during a storm, and not while some divers inside it. And now, as we look upwards, we're underneath the gun mounting turret. And now outside the wreck again, we come across a couple of red striped mullet. Just outside the wreck they are, and quite tame as well, until I get too close to them, of course. Again, these are fairly common on this wreck. And next we have a Murray. A rather fierce one at that. Quite feisty. Very elegant mover that. And a flatfish, of course. These are regular outside the wreck. There's a large sandy area. They're very difficult to spot, because quite often they settle, and their frilly edges flick the sand over the back of them, and basically all you see is the eyes. And after that, of course, now we've got the cuttlefish, which do the same to camouflage themselves, throwing sand over the backs. But this one was well out in the open, and not unduly bothered, allowing us to get quite close to it. I much prefer to see them like this than the bones stuck in a budgie cage. Well, that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed the show.